Hey, this is Jackson with Bored and Annoyed. I am coming at you today with another episode of INSTANNOYED. Basically, the idea behind this is I haven't had much time to process a movie that I've watched, so I hop on here and just give my initial thoughts on it. Today, I have two movies, and you have the pleasure of having two people on here. I've also got Michael with me from Downright Nerdy. There he is.
What's going on?
Hey, Michael, thank you for hopping on. I appreciate it. It's less awkward than talking to myself. So,
yeah, I hate talking to myself. I feel crazy when I do it, but it's good, man. Thanks for having me on. I haven't seen either of the two movies that you've seen, but I'm excited to. Every time I watch or listen to your podcast, man. I mean, I haven't seen half the movies, but I just enjoyed listening to you guys talk and review them and all that fun stuff.
Now, let's start with the important thing, though. What do you prefer, this view or this? What do you think?
Probably matter to me.
I think I like this. I think
I like this too. I mean, I invested a lot of money into the background where I'm at, so I don't mind showing it off a little bit.
I suppose. And yeah, so I saw first off, I guess we will discuss Sonic, since that's the big one that everybody's kind of talking about this week. And surprisingly, it is not awful.
It's very surprising.
It's a family movie, so obviously you have to watch it like with that thought of like, okay, this is for kids. I can't like tear this thing apart, you know. But I'm not usually I turn on any live action family movie that's not like Pixar or something, and it's just a disaster.
It reminds me of that movie with Adam Sandler. Which one was that? Where there's a whole bunch of like characters from different.
I never saw it. I know what you're talking about. Is he like is it like a kingdom that he's in?
Yes, something like that. I want to say that Kevin Smith is in it too. Maybe
Bedtime Stories.
No, hold on. I'm going. You go ahead. I'm gonna be Paul today and be the guy on.
Yeah, he is the guy. By the way,
yeah.
Thanks to Paul for always having that information. I'm not as prepared as I should be. My co-host is typically the prepared one. But yeah, so Sonic, basically, the movie starts off, it's him in like the green zone from the video game. So they hit you with that nostalgia for people, losers like me in their 30s who are watching a Sonic movie. So that's fun. But then it goes to the real world, and that's where I'm not usually a fan of these things, is like when they take a cartoon character and put them in real life. The biggest one I always think of is the Garfield movie.
Oh gosh,
which was terrible.
Yes.
So that's always my concern. Now, in this, I actually I'm a big fan of James Marsden. And he's kind of the lead character in this. And then the villain, Dr. Robotnik, is Jim Carrey. And honestly, most of the fun I had with the movie was watching Jim Carrey do like his 1990s Ace Ventura impression. Like,
so
I haven't seen him.
Is it Jim Carrey from the 90s then?
Yes, it's 100% him doing that shtick where it's Jim Carrey doing the stupid, like over the top,
because just, I mean, I don't know about you, but that's like the only Jim Carrey that I like.
Right. It's been a long time. It's been a long time since I've seen that. Now, I've liked him in like some dramatic stuff over the years, like The Truman Show, or there was even a horror movie that was panned critically, The Number 23, I believe it was called.
That is probably one on my list for the all-time worst movies of all time.
Oh, really? I like that movie.
Oh, wow.
I like that movie. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
Okay.
But in this, he's fun. Now, the problem in this movie is it's a road trip movie. And the biggest problem is there's so many tropes in it. I mean, all the shit that happens in all these movies, like they stop at a saloon, and Sonic really wants to go in because it looks like fun, whatever. They go in, and of course, like a bar fight starts. And then there's a scene that's Quicksilver from X-Men. Which one was it? Days of Future Past, where like everything's in slow motion except for him, and he's kind of setting everything up so that when it kicks back in, everybody's going to fall on their face or whatever. So there's a lot of stuff like that where you're like, okay, this is all like tropey shit. But again, it's a kid's movie, and it's not awful. I mean, there's actually like a good there's a little bit of heart to it between basically Sonic. he as a child, he gets sent to Earth to escape some people that are after him on whatever planet he's from. And he spends 10 years like in hiding, kind of just spying on people. Like the main character, James Marsden, he spies on him. So he like knows him very well just from like watching him do stuff. And like he'll watch movies with him, but he's outside the window watching the movie. So he's never had a friend. So the theme of the movie is like Sonic's lonely and he gets a friend, you know? So that was it was all right. I did not hate this. I didn't hate it at all.
So I'm sorry, I was a little distracted because it wasn't it was a Kevin James and Adam Sandler movie called Pixels is what it kind of reminds me of.
Yeah, that was the one.
Peter Dinklage is in it, and Sean Bean is actually in it as well.
Hey, Sean Bean, we just
watched Sean Bean. This is probably like cumulatively like all of these actors' worst movie, probably.
Well, tune in tomorrow. We'll talk about Sean Bean a little bit, I'm sure.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we got National Treasure.
He plays Sean Bean in that movie. He plays Alec Trevelyan from GoldenEye. That's kind of what he was. But yeah, tomorrow night, by the way, 7 p.m. Central. I guess it would be 5 p.m. Pacific. We got too many time zones to track.
Right.
We are going to be doing a group review of National Treasure. But yeah, Pixels. I remember because what's his name? The dwarf, Peter Dinklage. He plays a character that's supposed to be like Billy Mitchell. If you've ever seen The King of Kong, that documentary about the two guys going for the Donkey Kong record, Billy Mitchell is like this super obsessed with himself video game pro who like holds records, and I think he got caught cheating like a year ago and had them all taken away. But but Dinklage looks like him and plays him, and Billy Dinklage is a quote unquote normal person, I guess it would be. So it's a funny little bit. That movie's terrible.
Yeah, oh man, it was so hard to get. The only reason why I got through it is because I was watching it with a kid who loved it.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm
just looking at him and I'm like, you don't know good mood. Come on.
See, but this movie, like, it doesn't really treat the audience like it's stupid. Like a lot of kids movies, you just roll your eyes because everything is like, you know, a really stupid fart joke or something. There is one fart joke in this movie, but for the most part, it's pretty good. Now, one thing that did irritate me was product placement in this.
Oh, is there a lot of it?
There's a couple things. There's one where they're talking about the main character's like he's a sheriff in Green Hill, and that's like a small town, and he wants to like make a name for himself. So he goes to he wants to get a job in San Francisco. So yeah, he goes to San Francisco, or he applies for a job in San Francisco, and his girlfriend or wife, she looks up apartments on Zillow, and there's a scene where she turns the screen towards the camera and she's like, "Hey, I found this apartment on Zillow," you know, and it's like, come on. And then there's a scene where the Olive Garden gets brought up on the phone, and he literally says, "'Cause when you're there, you're family." It's like,
so they're putting all the slogans, just infusing it into it.
Yeah, it was bad. Script. And I can't stand that because it takes me out of a movie. But then at the end, even there's another Olive Garden reference. And it's just, I don't know, that annoys me. It takes me out of the world that they've built, I guess. But yeah, hey, thanks, Derek. Derek commented here. And thank you, Derek, for suggesting the movie this week, by the way. And he'll be joining us tomorrow.
Yep, Poolside Podcast.
But yeah, there are multiple times where that happens in the movie. But overall, I can't get too upset about it. It was fine. And it was fun to see Jim Carrey act like this again. I mean, he's doing like the thrusts and the, you know, all the goofy.
Yeah, that was one of our main concerns when we watched the trailer. It almost looked like he was trying too hard. I'm like, man, is he too old for this now? But I mean, if you're saying that it's okay, then
it's
judgment.
The difference, I guess, could be, if you wanted to be a stickler on it, would be that he can't get dirty in this. Like, you know, he can't make a, you know, why don't you cry about it, saddlebags type comment.
Got it. I see.
You know what I mean? It's a kid movie.
But that's because it's a kid movie, right?
Right.
It's not because of, you know, his, you know, whatever.
Right. But he's fun to watch in it. Yeah, overall, I guess I'd give it like a C. I thought it
How
was
long
just
is it?
fine. Probably 2 hours, a little less than 2 hours, with
Okay.
maybe an hour
Oh,
and 40 minutes. I
okay.
mean, I thought you were supposed to be the Paul here, man. You're
I
supposed to.
was, yeah, but I still have pixels up on the screen. I never took it down.
So it is an hour and 40 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
So I would I recommend it if you have kids or you're obsessed with Sonic the Hedgehog. I would. Now, the other thing about this movie that's funny is like if there's any video game character that I can't think of a way you could make a movie, it's Sonic. I mean, there's just I don't know. There's no story to a Sonic game really.
right.
So yeah,
That
they
was
did
my
the right.
next question. I was like, how does it compare to the game? I don't know how you would compare it to the game.
Right. Well, it doesn't try to be the game exactly because the game all took place like Dr. Robotnik, I think, is the only human looking character in the game. And that's the
I
problem
think
with
so
these
too, yeah.
movies. Like you could have done like the first scene, my first thought was the first scene is in like the Sonic world. So it looks like a level from Sonic, and he's like doing the
Okay.
loopy loops and all that shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, why didn't they just make this the movie? Why didn't they make it like a Pixar style movie? So when it cut away from that, I was kind of like, oh, see, they already made a mistake. But then as I'm watching it, I'm like, you know what? It's kind of fun. There's some decent little action in it. He's likable. It's the guy from Parks and Rec who plays him. In Parks and Rec, Aziz Ansari, he has that obnoxious friend who he's like trying to start all the businesses with and shit.
Right, right.
And yeah, he was funny. But
Good. All right.
so yeah, so that's that one. Now the other one I watched is a different story entirely. And that one is called Come to Daddy.
I'm
So
not
in
gonna
the,
lie. When you sent me the two movies that you watched, you told me you watched you watched Sonic and Come to Daddy, and they
yes,
were very different movies.
very different. Yes.
Yeah, I went a different way in my head for a split second, then I realized you're a big horror buff. Okay, it's probably a horror.
Yes, it is
So
a horror movie, right? It kind of. So Come to Daddy, and I made a joke in the description on the video here that I watch two family movies because this one is that Sonic's a family movie, like you bring your whole family, right? You go see
okay.
Sonic with your kids or whatever. Come to Daddy is a movie about family. Basically, the plot is that Elijah Wood plays this kind of like weird artist type guy, and he randomly he's 35 years old and he receives a letter in the mail from his father who abandoned their family when he was 5. So it's been 30 years since he heard anything from this guy.
Got it.
He receives a letter saying, hey, come, I want you to come out, come meet, here's where I am, like if you want to come meet me, whatever. So he shows up at this place, and the dad is like a drunken asshole. And it goes off the rails, basically. Like,
In what way? I mean, I know that I don't know. Can you say without spoiling it? I guess.
so without spoiling it, I would say nothing is as it seems to be. And it ends up being kind of a touching movie, even though there is gruesome violence in this. Like, something is not as it seems, and basically Elijah Wood is forced to kill all these people, and it's pretty great.
Oh, when I
It's pretty
watched the
great.
trailer, it gave me it gave me a little bit of a feel of like Cabin in the Woods almost. Is
No,
there anything like that, or is it just completely off?
no, that's off. It's
Okay,
not
got it.
like that. It's way darker and more disturbing.
Got it.
But what's weird is that it really plays on the like you're watching this like B movie gory thing, but it really does have like it has something to say about like abandonment from fathers and him
Really?
kind of like what he so wants the approval of his father, even though his father let him, abandon him. So it's like, you know, how far are you willing to like forgive someone who's done you wrong because they're family, I guess, is kind of
Right.
the idea.
I
But
see.
and I can't get too far into it without ruining it for anybody watching, but I enjoyed it. I will say there's a scene with oh god, what kind of grill utensil is he holding in that image actually that I've got in the top left of the screen? Somebody gets that in a very precarious spot. They get stabbed with that.
Oh, geez.
And of course, the wife is like on the edge of her, like she's like, oh, I don't know if I can watch this. This is intense. I'm freaking out. And I was like laughing my ass off because it had that tone for me where it's like it's unrealistic, so I'm okay with it. If you know what I mean. Like, but
so this was your Valentine's Day movie?
This was our Valentine's Day movie. Right. This was the Valentine's Day movie. Now, I would highly recommend this to anyone who likes weird shit. It reminded me a little bit of, speaking of Nicolas Cage, I don't know if you saw this. This would be a good contender for our other show, would be Mandy. Did you see Mandy?
I haven't yet. Some people have been saying it's a good movie.
Oh, it's amazing. I
Really?
love Mandy. And he's going to be in a HP Lovecraft movie. The end of this month, I think it comes out on streaming. And it looks good, but he apparently is making a resurgence. So, and you know what? And Mandy's like the perfect movie for him because he gets to be crazy, and he's at his best, I think, when he loses it, and it's just cheesy as hell.
Yes.
And yeah, Derek, you do need to see Mandy, by the way. But yeah, this one, and that's another thing too. Elijah Wood, he's a big horror buff. He was in a remake of a movie called Maniac a couple years ago, where he played like this sadistic serial killer. And he actually is leading the charge to try and get the rights to A Nightmare on Elm Street because he wants to.
Is he really?
Yeah, he wants to make one more Freddy movie with Robert Englund in it. Apparently, he has a pitch, and with the shit he's done.
England.
Oh, he's like 70-ish. He's in his 70s, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I actually met him at a convention last year, and it was like,
I hear he's a nice guy.
Yeah, I met him and Barry Sanders on the same day. Just by chance. It was crazy. I was in Chicago to meet Robert Englund at a horror movie convention, and I got in an elevator, and this guy actually had all this 49ers shit. He had like a helmet and whatever. I'm like, hey, what do you have all that for? He's like, oh, there's a sports memorabilia thing across the street.
I remember listening to this on your show.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh, really? Who's over there? And one of the first people he names is Barry Sanders. So I looked at my wife and I was like, well, guess we got to go to that too. Because
that's what we're doing today.
Yeah, right. But that was funny. But yeah, Elijah Wood, he produced Mandy, I believe, but I think he's really getting into a lot of these, underground horror movies. Like that's his thing. He likes horror movies. So yeah, I'm turning into quite the Elijah Wood fan. And it's nice that he's really made a career of himself because he, so many of these young actors, they, go off the rails or whatever. And it seems like he has not. So good for him. I
feel like, you're either on this Elijah Wood side of things where, you grow into a well-rounded actor, but then there's the, oh God, what's his name? The Macaulay Culkin side of it where, you make your two movies and you become a creep.
Disappear. Well, it's funny you mentioned Macaulay Culkin because I don't know if you watch any Red Letter Media at all. They review movies. They're the best. They're the best at. If I got to send you their stuff. I mean,
what is it again?
Red Letter Media. If you've ever heard of the Plinkett prequel reviews, have you ever watched those?
No.
Oh no. God. Oh, dude.
Okay. I have some homework.
Oh, they're the best movie reviews ever made. And you'll never be able to watch those movies again. Like I'm dead serious. You can't. When you watch them, you just like cringe at everything because he just dissects the shit out of them. But Macaulay Culkin now comes on that show like a couple times a month. It seems like, and they do a show called Best of the Worst where they just watch 3 awful movies that like nobody's ever heard of, and he's on the round table for that. And he actually I think he's gotten his shit together, but yeah, he was the poster child for the him and like, Corey Feldman.
Yes.
So, yeah. Corey Feldman would be another one. But yeah, Elijah Wood, Mandy, he did produce this other, the Color Out of Space, the new Nicolas Cage one he produced. Another movie And I didn't even realize that the same guys made a movie called the Greasy Strangler. And just from the name of it, you can imagine. I mean, it's literally a guy who puts grease all over his body, like fat, like greasy, and he strangles people.
Yeah,
and
Ronnie runs a disco walking tour with his son Braden. When a sexy woman takes the tour, it begins a competition between father and son for her love. It also signals the arrival of an oily strangler who stalks the streets at night. Okay.
And honest to God, Michael, it's so stupid, the movie is, but it's also absolutely hilarious. It's not a terrible movie. It's entertaining. The Greasy Strangler is. The son and father in it are fucking hysterically funny.
Okay, hold on. I gotta share this screen here. Here, let's do this. This guy.
Yes, that's the son.
That's the son.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the son.
All right. I mean, these are just some of the
just go through some of the pictures of this movie. I mean, it is just batshit crazy. That's the Strangler.
This guy.
Yes. The old guy. He's
like the greased up deaf guy from Family Guy.
He literally rubs grease all over his body, and he goes out and and he goes out and strangles people. And I had a buddy who he's into like this sicky shit like I am, and he came over and he's like, "You have to see this." So we watched that, and it was unbelievably entertaining. I really liked it.
All right, okay.
But this one's probably a better movie. and Elijah Wood, I've always liked him, even when he was a kid. Like he was in a movie called Radio Flyer when he was a kid.
I remember that movie.
That's a great movie.
You know where I really liked seeing the turn in his acting career when he was on Sin City. He had no speaking lines.
That's right. He played like the little.
He was that little gold gremlin kind of, or like the serial killer dude, but he didn't feel pain or something like that. And he got eaten by his dogs, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I'm a fan of his. Yeah, he did. Yeah. He's turned a career for himself, and shit, he played Frodo, and he was great.
Right, exactly. And it's really cool to see actors that are able to come back and do other things after being in such a big type of franchise, right? Like I'm curious to see what happens to Robert Downey's career after Marvel.
Well, Doolittle didn't do well.
Yeah, it didn't do it did terribly.
See, I would imagine here's what back to Sonic now.
Yeah.
Doolittle and Sonic. Now, I would imagine, I didn't see Doolittle, but I would imagine that sitting in the theater, I'd want to kill myself. You know what I mean? Like it seems like one of those movies that only a kid would like. You know what I mean?
I was surprised when you said I texted you. I'm like, you paid money for Sonic?
It was matinee. It was matinee. Okay. It was, but you know what else? Somebody brought up the fact that they were going to see it because the studio listened and changed the design back to the good design of Sonic. Because when it first came out, there was all the controversy about
about his calf muscles was too big, I guess.
He looked like shit, right? And he had big teeth.
Yeah, something like that. It almost looked like oversized dentures, right?
Yeah, and I thought that kind of was a good point. The fact that you might as well support it if you're gonna bitch about it looking like shit. At least support it. And hang on one second here. Let's see. I can share my screen too. Is it this?
Oh yeah, I was just about to do that. I was about to show you the before and after.
So yeah, so let's just do this.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to go.
Yeah, and I mean, it is startling the fact that they thought
the one that's in the movie is on the right.
Yeah, I mean, clearly. I mean, look at and of course it's fake news taking away my picture. But anyway, yeah. So let's not share this. You guys just saw a window into the platform that we're using, by the way.
Yeah.
but yeah, I kind of agreed with that. Like, if everybody's gonna bitch about it, they probably spent a lot of money, they cared enough to change it, so might as well support it. But I mean, I was gonna see it eventually just because I played Sonic 1, 2, and 3 as a kid, and on Sega Dreamcast. I played Sonic, so yeah. So I was going to watch Sonic.
So I heard a rumor that it was going to be based on the how well this does. They were going to do a Crash Bandicoot that will take place in the same kind of universe.
I don't know about how that would work because that's Sony. That's Sony.
I don't know.
Now, when the movie started, it did have Marvel has like the opening thing where the pages of the comic book turn and you see all the characters and it's like Marvel Studios. They had a Sega Studios opening.
Oh, so really?
So like when it came up on the screen, I'm like, oh my God, there's Golden Axe and there's Altered Beast and whatever. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, if they could actually make these decent, that's kind of a fun idea. And Nintendo and Sega now are like kind of playing nice, and they even have Sonic doesn't want to have to leave Earth and go to the mushroom world. And
really?
The mushroom,
they reference other games,
right? Well, they kind of reference it. It seems like it's a Mario reference, but the world doesn't look like Mario or anything. Okay. But yeah, they could. I mean, they could theoretically, And then of course there's a post-credit sequence in this.
Is there? Okay.
Yeah, with another character who you knew was going to show up. But yeah, I don't know. That's all I've got on these two movies. I would say definitely if you like weird shit, definitely see Come to Daddy. And Derek says that for someone who didn't play the games, the controversy around it made me interested in seeing. So I wonder, will more people see it because of would anyone have even noticed that Sonic existed as a movie if it didn't look like shit when they released the first trailer?
I mean, what did you think? And honest to God, what did you think of the trailer when it first came out?
I thought it looked awful.
Yeah, it looked.
I thought it looked awful.
It showed. I mean, it had zero. It gave me zero desire to see. Like we watched it, and I almost stopped it in the middle of doing the show. But because I have this podcast now, I feel like I felt responsible, and I had to watch the entire trailer.
Yeah.
And, which is super surprising, seeing that you not only paid for it, but
I thought it was okay. It's okay. Okay. And now the critics in general, let's see where they're at now. So it is fresh. It's 64. Fresh 64. So it's not terrible, right? Now that doesn't mean much if you listen to last or if you listen to this coming episode. You'll see that me and the co-host disagreed on Birds of Prey, which got good reviews. I enjoyed it. Him not so much.
Fake Nerd podcast, they enjoyed it too.
Okay.
So I haven't seen it yet. Actually, this weekend I'm behind. I'm going to see 1917, which I'm very excited about. And we also want to see The Gentleman. So we're gonna try to fit that in as well.
Are you gonna go see Parasite if it's playing on a screen?
Parasite is playing, but what I think I might do, I might end up just doing that on the Amazon.
Just make sure that you got your phone put away somewhere else, because you look down with those subtitles, you're fucked.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. If there's subtitles in any movie, I make sure that I'm fully good.
I was so happy that it won. I couldn't believe that it won Best Picture the other night. I did not expect that. When you see the type of movie it is, you'll understand what I mean. Okay. I think there's a concept that it's probably pretentious because it's foreign, but it's not. It's not something you would expect to win Best Picture. So I thought it was great. And good for him.
I haven't paid attention to the Oscars in years. And I forgot that it was on until you said that it was the Oscars one day. I'm like, oh,
right,
damn, it's today. Okay,
yeah.
Still didn't watch it, but I mean, I just it was interesting seeing all of the people that won. The Joker won. I thought it was. I mean, I still find it funny that the most. Now I haven't seen a lot of the movies that were nominated. You have and. After listening to you and Holmes top 10, you know, Endgame made it on his. Endgame didn't even make it in your top 10. It was on your
yeah, it was an honorable mention.
Honorable mention. But
Yeah.
I did see an article saying like this is the first time like a record breaking highest grossing movie didn't even get a nomination.
I think it should have gotten a nomination just for the accomplishment personally. Like I wouldn't, you know, I thought Endgame was great. I honestly, what impressed me the most about Endgame, rather than the fact that it was just a good movie, is like how they've built this thing in that many movies and it all ties together. And it's an amazing accomplishment.
And to be honest, I think that might be clouding my judgment as to like giving it the acknowledgement of getting that nod for being nominated, because I just think that just the cumulative effort that it took for over a period of 10 years. And I mean, I recently rewatched Endgame again. And I mean, I still think it's a really great movie, but yeah, there are a lot of like holes, cliche moments, things like that.
Whatever, it's awesome though. Yeah. Like all the character stuff is great. I mean, superhero movies are always getting shit on, man. The Dark Knight wasn't nominated for Best Picture, so I mean, I would argue The Dark Knight's one of the best movies made in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
So, you know, if that's not going to get it, I don't know.
I haven't seen that in a while too.
Black Panther was nominated, and I didn't think that was as good as Endgame. So what do I know? I guess.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of Black Panther.
Yeah,
I mean, I thought it was okay, but I didn't think it was
the greatest thing ever. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. That's where it gets goofy. Now, before we go here, you tragically fell off the stream on last Saturday night. So I do want to make sure you get your piece said about Tremors.
Tremors, yes. So I can't remember where we left off, but I'm just going to give you my 2 cents. It is one of my all-time favorite movies, probably easily top 25 top favorite movies of all time. Most of it is probably from the nostalgic factor from watching it as a kid and just I remember just being super scared, like playing that game. The floor is lava. Whenever we're out on the playground, we always play like, hey, the graboids are gonna come get you if you stay up the sand.
And I don't even think you should have to quantify that nostalgia statement. That doesn't surprise me that someone would say that, because you have to judge films for what they're trying to accomplish, right? And Tremors is a very streamlined, simple, almost perfect version of what it's trying to be, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, it is a fun movie. I think on the show last week I brought up the Meg, and like I didn't hate the Meg. But that one like didn't get it the way that Tremors does. It's trying to do some of the same shit, but there's too much going on. You need it simple, you know.
And you know what's funny? Yeah, you mentioned when you were comparing it to the Meg, how the Meg, they all, and a lot of these newer like movies like Godzilla, they all try to explain why these things are, right? Like why the Meg is, why the not the graboids, but why Godzilla is, or whatever. But if you look at like historically some of the best horror movies of this, or not horror, maybe not horror, but just these type
monster
of
movies. Yeah, monster. Yeah, it's its own genre.
Some of the best ones, they have no explanation. It's just a bunch of people trying to survive the movie, right?
Right.
Like in Tremors or in Alien, right? Or Alien 1 and 2. In Predator, even, right? Like it's just there's the challenge. There's the challenge. Let's see if the main characters can survive it or how they survive it.
Right. And Derek's the only one chiming in here. Random people are popping in and out, but not real cinema. Yeah, but Martin Scorsese. Now, I guess this one did spawn 6 sequels, so he would say this is a carnival ride, I guess.
You know, it may have a bigger, it's a longer span than even the MCU at this point.
By far.
Yeah.
1990, right?
1990.
So it has 18 years on the MCU. It has, because I think Iron Man was 2000. Wait, 2008 or 2005.
2008.
2008. So yeah, it's got 18 years on it. By the way, really funny. I watched on Netflix. I got too many movies. I was going through my movie collection trying to find something the other night to watch, and I saw I had Tremors in the wrapping, and I didn't even realize I owned it. So
That's awesome. It's funny. I got a big giveaway coming up. I was thinking about going to find like a Blu-ray Steelbook edition of Tremors and throw it in there.
perfect.
Yeah.
People would that's dude. It's a beloved movie. And watching it, it's like it's easy to see why. So I was glad you picked it because I hadn't seen it in forever.
Yeah, I loved every single character in it. Yeah, I mean, you guys mentioned like between Michael Gross, Reba McEntire, the girl from Jurassic Park.
Right. Well, now the Asian dude who owns the
the guy that was also in I think he was also in the Ninja Turtles, like 3 when they go back in time or something, I think.
Okay, so he might have been in that, but I'm not 100% on this. And if you want to start Googling to find out who he is, so you can figure it out. I think he was in 3 Ninjas, and I don't know if anyone remembers that movie, but it was 3 kid ninjas, and I think
Mr. Wong,
and I think he was the trainer, like their master or whatever. But I could be wrong.
Okay. He was in Big Trouble in Little China.
Now, he wasn't the guy. What's that?
What movie did you just say?
3 Ninjas.
3 Ninjas. Yeah, he's been in that one and a bunch of sequels to 3 Ninjas.
Yeah. My first the guy who he reminds me of, I always get them mixed up too, is in Gremlins. He's not that guy, is he?
I don't see Gremlins on his.
No, I don't think he was. Yeah, see, now I'm just looking like an asshole because every Asian is not in Gremlins.
Yeah, sure, that's him.
Yeah, wasn't he in Karate Kid too? Wasn't he Mr. Miyagi?
Yeah, right.
But I that movie's great. It's great.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoy it. Did you say that you have seen the second one?
Of what?
Tremors.
Yes, that was the one.
Aftershocks.
That was the one that I like. I think if I popped Tremors 2 in, I would have more nostalgia than I do for 1 because I feel like 2 was the one that I watched a lot when I was a kid. I was telling you, I was waiting for the rock, paper, scissors where he fools him into, he tricks him. So,
by the way, you guys had a great rock, paper, scissors.
Oh my God. Well, yeah, the camera, I'm down here.
Yeah, you're down there. I'm like,
and it's all
like somebody's cheating. Somebody's cheating. There's like, well, what did you guys all get? Okay, well, I got scissors here.
If I was cheating, I didn't do a good job of cheating. Derek, you were on that. Where if you're in here still, did you cheat? Did you cheat? and I guess if he's hopefully he's typing right now, but I really enjoyed Tremors. I'm excited about this idea of a show because it's going to get me to kind of have an excuse to watch a lot of shit I bet I haven't seen in a while. Actually, today I had a movie pop into my head that I was thinking about using. Obviously, I'm not going to reveal it here, but like that kind of stuff where it's like, oh, I have an excuse to watch that now. If I'm in the mood for something, it'll make me sit down and watch it. I'm just,
I got a couple rattling in my head right now, and okay, all right, well, honor system, I'll believe you.
Sure.
Yeah, I got a couple rattling around in my head right now that I'm excited that I haven't seen in a while. So I'll be hoping that if we use the wheel, maybe I'm hoping it'll land on me.
No, I mean, hopefully we use the wheel if you don't get called into work tomorrow.
Oh no, I should be good tomorrow. I don't foresee anything going on, so I'll be fine. We're recording our next episode tomorrow, but that'll be in the late morning, early afternoon.
Any particular plug or topic or anything you want to? What are you guys going to discuss?
Actually, yes. This upcoming episode is the topic was suggested via a fellow YouTuber named Comics with Bueller. He's been on for a couple of years, and he just hit his 2-year anniversary. He has like over 9,000 subscribers. Just hit that 9,000 mark. Incredible. He does a lot of videos about comic books. That's his bread and butter right there. but he's doing a giveaway where to be honest, for me, the giveaway is kind of whatever. I don't. If I win it, then great. But if not, this is just still a fun topic. He had a very touching way of, or not touching, but a very emotional explanation of how he got into the YouTube game and why he enjoys comic books and this entire community and all this stuff. And he's like, hey, if you guys want to make a video on your own origin story of how you got into why you like doing what you do, shoot a video and send it to me, and you'll be automatically entered. So that's going to be our topic, and we're going to have a couple of people here, and it's our 50th episode, and we got we're going to be giving away a bunch of crap. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, congrats. I better see the waterworks coming. I don't want to.
Maybe Riley. That ain't gonna be me though. I don't.
Okay, well, either way, I was thinking, the waterworks. In One Cut of the Dead, they've got those eye drops. That's what you need. All of a sudden, the camera pans to Riley, and you put in the eye drops, and when it comes back, you're just,
But yeah, so just real quick for the giveaway part, we're going to be creating a separate video. It'll be like a short, like 5-7 minute video on how to enter our contest to do it. And the things that we're giving away, whenever we hit like a certain milestone mark of, I think the numbers we chose are 600 subscribers on YouTube and 150 reviews on iTunes. Once those two are met, like one may happen before the other, but once they finally are together at that
they both have to hit. It's not two separate.
Exactly. It's not one or the other. They both have to hit. Once that mark is hit, that following Saturday or Sunday, we're going to be giving away something. We're going to go live, and essentially every 5 to 10 minutes we're going to give something away. Whether it be a stack of comic books, as you can see, I got a big mess of crap back here.
1,000. Have you bagged and boarded all the?
Yeah, and what's funny is that I haven't bagged and boarded all of them, but the
ones that are important.
If I wanted to sell some of these, I could have made all my money back with 40 of these books, which is
nice.
Kind of nice. But yeah, we'll be giving away statues, figurines, some movies, some variant covers, some graded comic books, and yeah, a whole bunch of stuff. It's going to be a fun time whenever it is we hit those marks.
Sweet. See, you're smart. I did giveaways when we started, and then I stopped. I just forgot to keep doing it.
We did too. I mean, it got to a point where like we were doing something every week, and I lost track of some things, and so there'd be some times where I had to work on the weekend and I wasn't able to get the package out, and I felt bad. So I started doing like every month, and then I'm like, no, I'm just gonna do it with the milestones now. That way it's more
smart.
It's easier for me. Yeah.
Nice.
And, yeah. So yeah.
Well, hey, thank you for getting on and shooting the shit. This was supposed to be about those two movies, but whatever. I'm always down to shoot the shit. It's easier to talk about movies with someone else. Now, tomorrow again, it is 7 Central, 5 o'clock Pacific.
Yep.
If you're Eastern or Mountain, do your own math and figure it out. But yeah, we'll be talking about National Treasure. Is it a national treasure?
It's Nicolas Cage playing Nicolas Cage.
Yes, and yeah, it's something. But we will be talking about that tomorrow with Poolside Podcast. I know Paul was going to try to make it. I don't know if he's going to be working or not, but
yeah, we'll see. And it will be on this episode's on my channel. I think
this one will be on your YouTube, co-streaming on my Facebook. But right now, if you're watching this, wherever you're watching this, go subscribe to my YouTube because I need more subscribers.
Yep.
I'm not going to bullshit you. That's kind of the reason why I'm asking you to do it. But yeah, also you don't want to miss whatever the movie is next week. Now, another thing, Michael, how do we, how do you want to announce the next movie? And we'll just let's open this up to the people
in a way.
Like, should we tell people right after the movie, right after we stream the episode, or should we wait and announce it midway through the week so that they have to watch the episode?
Oh, I see what you mean. So, but we're still going to do it live.
Yes.
During the episode.
Right.
Okay. I say, yeah, midweek. Yeah, that seems fine, I think. That way they do get to watch. I mean, our episodes have only been roughly in the 45-minute range, right?
Yeah, about as long as this has been.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, it's it's still in that range of like the replay, the rewatch. Watching it on the rewind is still
right.
It'll keep people's attention, I think. So
Sweet.
it should be okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, we could have talked about that off air, but yeah, again, Downright Nerdy Podcast. You can find it pretty much anywhere there's a podcast, any platform you listen to podcasts on. Otherwise, go to his YouTube. Is obviously watch him. He's got more class than I do. You actually see their beautiful faces on his show. But yeah, and then obviously our YouTube page, just look up Bored and Annoyed. Again, you can find us anywhere. Go to our website. There's a link there that leads to it'll let you pick your podcast platform. So
you actually motivated me to get my website up and running. So downrightnerdy.com too.
Downrightnerdy.com. There you go. There you go. All right. Well, hey, thank you so much for joining us, whether you're up late at night like us or you're watching this tomorrow.
Cool. See you guys.